from ABC7, live breaking news.
After 7 full days of deliberations, the verdict are in for the federal case against former Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes. In just the past hour, the jury convicted Holmes on 4 counts. The 4 counts she was found guilty of involve defrauding investors in her blood testing company. But she was found not guilty on 4 other counts involving fraud against patients, and they were deadlocked on 3 counts.
So here's a look at the breakdown. On count 1, guilty of conspiracy to commit wire fraud against investors. Count 2, not guilty of conspiracy to commit wire fraud against patients. Counts 3 through 8 were about wire fraud against investors. Of those counts, 3, 4, and 5, the jury could not reach a verdict. Counts 6, 7, and 8, she was found guilty. Counts 9 and 10, she was found not guilty of wire fraud against patients. And the final count, 11, she was found not guilty of wire fraud. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Amma Dates.
And I'm Dan Ashley. ABC 7 News reporter Stephanie Sierra has been covering the trial and was in the courtroom as the verdict was read a short time ago. She is live. Stephanie?
Hi, Dan and Amma. Yes, there was a huge sense of relief as the judge was reading off this verdict, convicting Elizabeth Holmes of 4 counts of fraud and including 1 count of conspiracy. So 3 of those, as you pointed out, pertained to specifically investors. And what we have seen throughout this trial, these jurors closing in on more than 50 hours of deliberations, most of the 12 jurors were staring directly at Elizabeth as this verdict was being read. Many of them with no expression, and we've seen that fall out throughout this trial. Jurors are required to wear masks inside, so it's often been hard to get a read. But today felt different. Today you could feel a sense of relief. There was Elizabeth's family was present, as they have been throughout this trial, including her partner, Billy Evans. I was sitting right behind them, and they were holding on to each other as this was happening. And you can see behind me, they are closing the courthouse as we are just after 5 o'clock now. But I want to talk a little bit about what happens next. Elizabeth is about to walk out of federal court any moment now. You can see the group of press behind us as we are awaiting her to leave. And I want to point out she's not going to be immediately taken into custody. At this point, the next battle will be sentencing, and the Federal Probation Department will first have to interview Holmes along with several investors and will make a recommendation to the judge for the terms of her probation before Holmes is sentenced. Now, she faces up to 20 years in prison for each count. And with 4 counts, at that point, we do know the average sentence for wire fraud cases is around 21 months. So it's still unclear at this point what her sentence will be. And I want to say we're not going to know that for a while, given that sentencing hearing could be 2 months from now. As far as other penalties she could face, there's a $250,000 fine for each count, and there's also a requirement for forfeiture. So this means Holmes will be required to forfeit any money she obtained engaging in this fraudulent activity with those investors back to the government. And finally, there will be 3 years of supervised release, which means Elizabeth Holmes will need permission to leave the state. So at this point, I want to talk a little bit about that feeling I mentioned earlier in the courtroom, that sense of relief. It really spoke to the work of the prosecutors, as throughout this 4-month trial, they have been deliberately making a very strong case that Elizabeth Holmes made a choice, and that her choice was to lie to investors, patients, and companies. And what we learned today is the jury certainly found that to be true for the investors. All of the not guilty counts pertained to patients. Dan and Amma?
Yeah, Stephanie, I think that's very interesting, in some ways telling, that the no verdict or the not guilty verdicts all pertain to the counts that involve defraud against patients, but the ones involving investors, the 4 counts she was found guilty of. Is there any sense at all, I know it's very early in these moments, as to whether the prosecutor will want to retry or take her to court again on some of these charges where there was either a not guilty verdict or a no verdict at all?
Yeah, it's a great question, Dan, and it is very possible. And I do want to bring in our legal analyst, Michelle Hagan, who is just joining us now. Michelle has been in the courtroom every single day of this trial. And Michelle, Dan and I are just discussing the possibility of Elizabeth Holmes getting retried on some of the counts that she was found not guilty.
Well, that call is up to the government to decide whether or not they're going to retry her. But given the amount of the guilty verdicts and the exposure she's facing, they may not pursue trying her on those counts where they were undecided.
And you had pointed out if that even were to happen, it would have to be at least 7 or more of the jurors who had found her.
Well, if they evaluate that there's enough evidence to retry her, it's up to the government to make that call.
I want to talk briefly about the investor counts, specifically the counts she was found not guilty on, of those 3 investors. 4 counts in total, obviously. But what, from all the evidence you have seen revealed throughout this trial, and you've often described it as a mountain of evidence, did any of that surprise you for those specific counts where she was found not guilty?
You know, I don't know why they found that, but generally when a jury decides that they come back not guilty, it's because they don't think there was enough evidence to show. They have reasonable doubt. And, you know, in federal court, the jury has to be firmly convinced of her guilt. If they're not firmly convinced, in other words, was there enough evidence to support those elements? And that was their decision, is they found her not guilty on 3 of those investor counts.
And we talked a moment ago about the average sentence for wire fraud cases being around 21 months. Of course, she faces up to 20 years. What are your thoughts on her potential sentence?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the, we'll call it enhancement or an aggravation of her the exposure she's looking at is the amount of money that was defrauded, right? So if you add up the investor, the amount of money that the investors were defrauded, it's about $144 million of the $155 that was alleged. That's a significant amount of money, and that's what's going to increase and give the judge the opportunity to give her more time than 21 months.
Michelle, thank you for your time. I do want to point out again to that $155 million. That was the amount of all the money lost pertaining to those 6 investor counts. And again, tonight we learned 4 of those investor counts the jury certainly believed throughout this trial. We'll have much more for you coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. In San Jose, Stephanie Sierra, ABC 7 News.
All right, Stephanie, thank you very much. 4 months of trial, 7 days of deliberations has come down to this moment. Thank you, Steph. You can get caught up on the entire case with the podcast called The Dropout. It is hosted by ABC News Chief Business, Economics, and Technology correspondent Rebecca Jarvis. Listen wherever you stream your podcasts.